All right, so today we are diving deep into the Sean Diddy Combs case.
Oh, yeah?
You've definitely come to the right place if you want
Absolutely.
all the latest from the courtroom, but
hmm
I gotta say some of these details about his life behind bars are
Yeah.
pretty surprising even for me.
Well, it is interesting. We're talking about a guy who's obviously used to the finer things in life,
Yeah.
and now he's dealing with the reality of prison.
I know it's such a wild turn of events, right? I mean, for anyone who needs a quick recap, Diddy's facing some really serious charges here.
Yeah.
We're talking sex trafficking, racketeering,
hmm
even prostitution charges. And all of this stems from these alleged gatherings he called freak-offs, which were
Oh.
basically parties where he allegedly exploited these women.
Yeah, according to the prosecution.
Right. And that's why he's currently at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
just waiting for this trial in May 2025.
Yeah, and it's in MDC that we're getting these almost absurd details from his lawyer. Apparently, the food is the biggest adjustment for him.
Wait, really? Did they actually say that? That the food is the roughest part
I know.
for Diddy?
I know. It's kind of strange to think about.
Yeah. I would think the whole lack of freedom thing would be a little more jarring than the menu, you know?
Right, but you have to think of it like this menu, it represents this complete 180 from the life that he's used to.
Okay.
It's like a constant reminder of everything he's lost,
Yeah.
you know. And we actually have a glimpse into what this menu looks like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So imagine this. 6:0 a.m., the lights come on,
Ugh.
and breakfast is this very basic cereal, fruit, maybe like a breakfast cake.
Okay.
Lunch is the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say, hamburgers, baked fish. They even have beef tacos sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And then on the weekends, they switch it up a bit with scrambled eggs and biscuits.
Okay, so I have to admit, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Like, okay, it's no boo,
Right.
but it at least sounds like they're trying to add some variety. Or
They do have vegetarian options too, apparently.
Okay.
And for dinner, they usually get things like chicken fajitas or pasta, roast beef.
Part of me still wonders, though.
What's that?
Is he smuggling in snacks? Like, come
Yeah.
on.
I would be.
Yeah, but, for someone who's used to having, like, personal chefs,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the predictability of it all would be brutal.
Totally. But, okay, prison food aside,
Mhm.
let's get into the actual legal battle here, because that's what really matters.
Absolutely.
So we know the trial is scheduled for May 5, 2025, which honestly feels so far away.
Right.
It does.
But these cases take time. You
Yeah.
have to go through tons of evidence, and this one's no exception.
Right.
Prosecutors are combing through a massive amount of data from Diddy's devices.
Oh,
Like, we're talking phones, computers, everything,
okay.
looking for any link they can find to these charges.
And what about Diddy? I mean, how's he handling all of this?
Yeah, so he was in court recently, and he seemed surprisingly stoic.
Really?
Like, even when his mother and children were there.
He just looked straight ahead, seemed ready for a fight.
Interesting. Okay, so clearly his legal team is not messing around either.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
2 judges have already denied bail
Right.
because they're worried about witness tampering.
Right. Of course. I mean, that makes sense, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not uncommon in these types of cases
Mm-hmm.
because, with his resources,
Mm-hmm.
he could potentially influence witnesses.
Exactly. And I'm assuming his lawyers are appealing this, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're trying everything to get him out on bail,
Okay.
and they're really trying to find holes in the prosecution's case.
Yeah.
And then you add this whole Cassie Ventura situation on top of it.
Oh, right. The alleged assault from 2016.
Exactly.
Just for those who need a refresher, this involved Diddy and his ex Cassie Ventura, and there's this surveillance footage that seems to show a part of this huge argument between them. Can you break that down for us? What's going on with this footage?
Yeah, so basically...
So Diddy's team is basically saying that someone leaked this footage on purpose.
Exactly. They're saying it's like a smear campaign to make him look bad before the trial even starts.
Wow, and what does the prosecution say about that?
They're denying it completely, say they had nothing to do with the leak.
Okay, so it's like a whole other layer of this case,
Right, and it all kind of makes you think about public perception,
Yeah, for sure.
Because in these high-profile cases, it's not just about the facts.
It's about the story that gets told. Right.
Exactly. All these details, the prison stuff, the legal strategy,
Right.
even this leaked footage, it all adds up to this narrative about him, whether it's true or not.
Right. It's a good reminder, though, that at this point, these are still just accusations.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Diddy still says he's innocent,
Absolutely.
and ultimately it's up to the courts to decide.
Hmm.
But you also can't ignore how serious these accusations are.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about sex trafficking, racketeering, prostitution.
Right.
If he's convicted, there could be huge consequences.
Exactly. And, this isn't happening in a bubble either.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
the whole entertainment industry is facing a reckoning right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's so much more scrutiny now, a real demand for accountability,
Absolutely.
which makes me think, I mean, what kind of precedent does this case set? Win or lose?
It's a really good question.
Could it make other people come forward with their own stories?
Yeah, potentially.
Mm.
Or it could also make people in power think twice.
Right. Be more careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it could force them to be more aware of the potential consequences of their actions.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Infinitely.
It's wild. We started with prison food,
I know, right?
and now we're here.
It's a wild ride.
But I guess that's what we do, right? We dive deep.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. You start pulling on one thread.
And it just unravels this whole other story.
Exactly. And sometimes those seemingly small details.
Like the food.
Yeah. They can actually tell us a lot about the bigger picture.
That's so true.
Like in this case, it's almost like a reminder that even with all the legal drama, all the money, all the fame,
There's still this very human element to it.
exactly this clash between extreme privilege and the reality of the justice system.
Yeah, it's definitely a story about power and wealth and accusations and this fight to protect a reputation.
And it's all happening so publicly.
I know, right? Well, we will definitely be keeping a close eye on every new development here at the Deep Dive. And to our listeners, we want to hear from you. How do you think this case is going to change things in the industry? Does it make you question those stories we tell about success and power? Let us know your thoughts because we are always listening.